Hi, I'm Michael Frog. I go to Locking High School.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kelly Masuda and I go to Locking High School.
Hi, my name is Sarah Merchant and I go to Locking High School.
I go to Locking High School.
Feel a change in everything, and as the surface breaks, reflections fade, but in some ways they remain.
I'm Mr. Franzen. I teach at Locking High School. Is that good enough?
What do you teach?
I teach social science, sociology, government econ. What's the?
I have one hand.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
So today we're going to interview Mr. Franzen because like I see him as a role model for me.
Thank you, Michael.
Where I can't take you seriously, man.
Okay.
Let me read the idea.
Just read it.
This doesn't make any sense.
Just read another
Oh,
mission.
when you were younger, did you have any interests that that got you to where you are today?
They got me to where I was today.
Yeah.
No, actually, this was not a career that I would have probably chosen back when I was in high school, or even when I was in college. But I started working with kids probably my junior year in college, and it took off. I enjoyed working with high school.
When did you realize this is what you wanted to do with your life?
Well, actually, I didn't really realize until a little bit later. Actually, I graduated college and was kind of doing odd jobs, doing things that weren't really exciting, kind of repetitive. So I went back to school and I started taking some more classes, and I figured out that I was really into education. I got really good grades in those classes. So, and as I said before, I liked working with kids.
Were there any pressures in your life that altered your decisions later on?
No, I wouldn't say there's pressures. I think everybody has kind of their parental expectations, and a teaching career comes with low pay and things like that. You know, people want to have a good life, but my parents supported me in whatever I wanted to do.
Oh, so they weren't like the typical parents who'd want to try to like steer you in a different direction?
Well, my dad always wanted me to follow his footsteps, but it wasn't like mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to the phone and you.
What obstacles have you overcome?
Obstacles? No, actually, I've led a pretty good life. I haven't had a whole heck of a lot of obstacles. I think the biggest obstacle was just figuring out what I wanted to do. Bug flew in my eye. But you know, I haven't had anything that, you know, serious illnesses or something like that. My parents are still with me. They're still married, so you know, I've always had a pretty good support system.
Answer this if you'd like, but have any of your past relationships affected you or your career?
Not my career. I mean, I think all your past relationships affect you in some way, shape, or form. But I mean, as you guys know from sociology, I'm not. I was married, now I'm divorced, and you really, if you take into account that you're in such a serious relationship, you're supposed to be committed to somebody for the rest of your life or beyond. It changes you because you got to figure out that, hey, you know, there's something maybe a little flawed, or maybe there's something that you didn't take into consideration when you got heavily involved with somebody. But no, I wouldn't say it influenced my career in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, is there anything you would do differently at this point in your life?
Differently?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have taken more time before I got married. I wouldn't change what I do for a career. I wouldn't change kind of the career path I've taken. I've done here at Locking I've done a lot of different things, but I wouldn't change what I've done. I may have changed what school I chose originally to go to and what university I chose, but you know, I've been very blessed to do a lot of different things, been able to travel, been able to experience a lot of different cultures, and I wouldn't change anything.
I know you said earlier in your interview that in your junior year of college you wanted to work with kids, but what made you really want to become a teacher?
It was mostly, it really was. It was some experience I was having at the time. I was helping out the school here. I was helping out with a carnival that was going on every year, I worked real closely with the kids, and at the end of the carnival, that was gone, and I felt like there was some sort of loss in my life every year. I knew I was going to see some of those kids again. They were graduating, moving on. I just really enjoyed trying to teach them to be a leader, just kind of what responsibility was, because that's kind of what we do here. But it was just mostly that loss I felt after Carnival was over.
How do you balance your social life with your professional life?
Oh, that's a difficult one. Especially, I mean, as the athletic director, you spend a lot more time than normal teachers do here at school. But you always try to keep some sort of social life on the weekends. Fortunately, most sports here end on a Friday night, so you may lose your Friday night, but you don't lose your Saturday, you don't lose your Sunday. Your friends adjust. Your friends may not see me as often as they used to before, but we still see each other, hang out, we celebrate holidays together or whatever. So.
If there's one thing that you would advise students to help them in their future, what would it be?
Find something that you really, really want to do. Don't worry about the expectations of your parents or the expectations of your friends. I've seen a lot of students that have made choices of careers and that they're really just not that happy. And your career is something you're going to be doing for 25 or 30 years. You got to be happy with what you're going to do. That and slow down. Life moves really fast. And as you get into college and you get beyond college, it seems to move faster and faster, and you lose that time that you have spending with your friends or spending with your family. And we only have a certain amount of time here on Earth. You might as well enjoy it and really take that vacation. You don't have to work 52 weeks a year. You take the vacation, spend the time with your family, spend the time with your friends.
Okay. Is there anyone that you really look up to?
Of course. I mean, there's a lot of different people I look up to. People.
Helped you?
I'm sorry.
Helped you get to where you are?
I have. There's a couple of people, athletic directors that I know that I really look up to. That they've been doing it for a long time, and they're an inspiration for me. One of them works over at Roadtrip. One of them is the former athletic director here. Before Miss Hill, it was Mr. Bowl. But there's people I look up to people in my personal life as well that they're raising their kids and they just seem to be doing it the right way. So of course you always look up to your parents, and you may look up to a religious leader or something like that. But professionally, you need to have role models. You need to push yourself all the time to be better. So.
Thank you for your time. That's it. You can go now.
Thanks for laughing at me.
I'm not laughing at you.
Thank you. Okay, wait.
Mr. Franzen is such a good inspiration. I wish I could just be like him.
Mr. Franzen really taught me some good life lessons. And his path to becoming a teacher is just really inspiring and great.
I wish my husband is like Mr. Franzen when he's older, because he's just such an inspirational man.
Mr. Franzen's story has really taught me what's important in life, and I think it's important to have supportive parents on your pathway to career. And yeah.
Gonna turn the whole thing upside down. trying to